Welcome back to Podcast and Chill, guys. I'm Gwen.
And I'm Leo.
So, Leo, have you ever known exactly what you wanted to say in a foreign language, but then just froze?
Like a deer in headlights.
Yep, like a deer in headlights.
Oh, absolutely. I ran into that all the time, especially when I was first starting out. I never really understood why it happened, though. Was it something I was doing wrong, or was some spiritual force holding me back?
Well, actually, it's quite common for new learners. It's called the thinking trap.
The thinking trap. What's that?
It's when you overthink so much that you end up not speaking at all.
So, is there a way out of this trap?
Sure thing. That's what we're going to talk about today. And stick around because we've got a fun little challenge at the end to help you break that habit for good. So, Gwen, can you explain a little more about what you call the thinking trap? As I mentioned, it's basically when you overthink while trying to speak a foreign language. Your brain starts analyzing everything before you say it, and that overthinking blocks you from speaking naturally.
So, what actually causes all that overthinking? Is it just being nervous?
Nervousness is part of it, for sure, but a big reason is not practicing speaking enough.
How so?
Well, if you don't speak regularly, your brain hasn't built strong habits or muscle memory for the language.
Kind of like trying to play piano after just watching YouTube videos. You might know the notes, but your fingers hesitate.
Yeah, same idea.
That makes sense.
And when you don't practice, hesitation builds up even more.
Which eventually makes it hard to speak at all, right?
Yep. And it gets even tougher if you're a bit of a perfectionist.
Why's that?
Because perfectionism makes you afraid of making mistakes or being judged. Instead of just communicating your ideas, you focus on trying to avoid any errors, and that fear can totally shut you down.
You know, you're right. I've definitely worried about people laughing at my mistakes.
Oh, are you admitting you're a perfectionist?
Ugh, okay, fine. Maybe a little, especially when I speak French. I want to sound like a real Parisian.
That's not a bad goal.
After like 1 month.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky. Good things take time. It's totally normal to struggle with speaking a new language, English, French, whatever, after just a few months. Add perfectionism on top of that, and you've got the perfect recipe for silence.
Got it. Anything else that feeds into this thinking trap?
Oh yeah, another big one is direct translation.
You mean when we're trying to translate every single thought from our native language into the one we're learning?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
What's so bad about that?
It really slows you down. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on.
I'm not sure I see why that matters so much.
Well, when you translate in your head, your brain has to do extra work.
Extra work?
First, you think of what you want to say in your native language. Then you try to translate it into the new language. That two-step process creates a mental traffic jam.
So it's like a bottleneck that makes speaking slower and harder?
Yeah, you nailed it!
Okay, it's much clearer now how this trap works, but the real question is, how do we avoid it? And if we're already stuck in it, how do we get out?
There are a lot of ways to handle it. But the first and most important step is shifting your mindset.
What kind of mindset should I have?
You've got to embrace imperfection and just speak.
No! I want to speak perfectly!
Hey, keep this in mind. Fluency isn't about flawlessness. It's about communication.
Just kidding. I know what you mean. It's okay to make mistakes. I get it.
More than okay, it's expected. And once you accept that your English won't be perfect, it takes the pressure off and makes it easier to speak.
I guess if I can let go of perfectionism, my confidence will start to build naturally.
That's the way.
But how do I get comfortable with making mistakes? That fear of being judged is like hardwired into my brain. I usually freeze when I think I'm about to mess up.
That's why you adopt a speak first, correct later mindset.
Let me guess. We should focus on getting our message out first.
Right. You can fix any mistakes afterward.
But who's going to correct me?
It could be you after you reflect, or other people. The point is not to let fear of mistakes stop you from speaking.
That actually sounds pretty freeing. So once I change my mindset, what's next?
Next is lots and lots of practice. Once you stop aiming for perfection, you need to act on that by focusing on speaking, instead of staying stuck in your head.
Easier said than done, though. I still catch myself searching for the perfect grammar or word sometimes.
That's normal. But the way to break that habit is consistent practice. The more you speak, the more automatic your language skills become.
Yeah, I heard that speaking more can help with not only pronunciation, but also sentence structures and reflexes for words.
Yeah, it's like building muscle. Whether you're lifting weights or speaking, regular practice makes you faster, more confident, and less stressed.
But what about grammar? Shouldn't I be careful about that?
At the beginning, don't worry too much about it.
Why not?
Focusing too much on grammar can interrupt your flow and cause hesitation.
So grammar is kind of like a background process.
Yes, as you get more exposure and practice, your grammar will naturally improve. It catches up with you over time.
Got it. So as long as we start speaking, don't obsess over grammar, and keep practicing, we should be fine.
Also, start simple.
Why's that?
Simple words and sentences are easier to manage, and once you manage them well, your confidence grows quickly.
That sounds way less overwhelming.
Another great habit? Think in English as much as possible. Stop mentally translating everything from your native language.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, but how do I actually do that?
Tons of ways. You can try narrating your day in your target language, or describe what you see around you.
How about asking and answering questions to myself in that language?
Brilliant. That's a great technique. It helps make your target language your default thinking language, which speeds up your speaking.
Okay, but sometimes I think way faster than I can speak. How do I get my speaking speed to catch up with my thinking?
That's where filler words come in.
Like, well, you know?
Yes, they might seem small, but they keep the flow going and give your brain time to organize your thoughts.
So filler words aren't bad?
Not at all. They help you avoid awkward silences and make your speech smoother.
So basically, shift my mindset, practice a lot, don't stress about grammar early on, start simple, think in English, and use fillers. That's the recipe for fluency?
That's what I said.
Okay, now I've got the recipe, but how do I actually cook it? I mean, what are some practical ways to actually get the words out?
Glad you mentioned it, Leo. Talking about solutions is one thing, but putting them into practice is where the magic happens.
Yeah, please, I could use some magic right now.
Let me share 6 practical methods that help you implement the speak more, think less philosophy, and build your confidence step by step.
I'm all ears.
The first method is mirror talk.
You don't mean talking with my mirror, do you?
Well, that's exactly it. Spend about 5 minutes every day talking to yourself in the mirror.
Talking to myself? Sounds a bit awkward.
It's actually the opposite. The mirror gives you a safe space to experiment and hear your own voice in English. Over time, it helps reduce hesitation.
What do I even talk about?
Anything. Your day, your plans, random thoughts, whatever's on your mind. The goal is to speak freely without judging yourself.
And for how long should I do this ritual?
As long as you like. But if you're short on time, 5 minutes is great.
Got it. What's next?
The next method is to describe your surroundings.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure, just describe what you see around you, either out loud or in your head. For example, I see a red car outside. The weather is sunny. I'm wearing a blue shirt.
And why is that helpful?
It helps you start thinking in English naturally instead of mentally translating everything first.
I guess you're right. Plus, that sounds simple enough and doable anywhere.
Next is to record yourself.
What should I record?
Pick any topic, speak for about 2 minutes, and record it. Then listen back.
And how does that help my speaking?
It gives you a chance to hear yourself and notice areas to improve. Plus, you can track your progress over time.
Oh, like being my own coach. That's smart.
Exactly. And the best part? There's no pressure from anyone else. It's just for you.
Nice. What about that method called shadowing? Is that on your list?
Of course, shadowing, where you repeat what a native speaker says, is great. You focus on rhythm, intonation, and flow instead of trying to understand every single word.
What I love about it is that you don't have to stress about understanding everything. You just repeat, like singing along to a song in a foreign language.
Precisely, it helps your mouth get used to the natural sounds and pace of the target language.
So far, shadowing is my favorite method.
Oh, just wait till you hear the 5th one.
What's that?
Now, method 5 is the one-sentence story.
That sounds interesting. How do I do it?
Every day, tell a short story using just one long, flowing sentence.
Only one.
Yes, only one. For instance, Today, I woke up early, brewed some coffee, checked my phone, saw a funny cat meme, and shared it with a friend.
Wow, that sounds challenging but cool.
It is. It helps you practice connecting ideas smoothly and naturally, which builds fluency.
And the last method?
That's internal dialogue.
What a fancy name. What's it about?
Basically, pretend you're two different people having a conversation with yourself. Practice real-life scenarios, like ordering food or asking for directions.
It sounds like a fun way to prepare for real-life situations and a great practice for confidence.
It absolutely is.
I think acting out conversations by myself might be my new favorite way to practice.
Glad you have a favorite, but remember the best way to improve your speaking is to combine all these methods. They'll help you get more comfortable speaking, build automatic responses, and reduce hesitation.
You're right, these practical steps make the whole process feel a lot more doable.
And now, we've reached the best part of today's podcast.
Wait, we haven't hit the best part yet?
Well, speaking about how to escape the trap is one thing, but actually doing is another. I've got a little challenge for you, our dear listeners.
I love a good challenge. What do they have to do?
It's super simple. We're going to give you 3 random topics. You pick one and then speak about it for 30 seconds. No stopping, no long pauses, no restarting, and of course, all in English.
Wow, that really forces you to think on your feet.
I know, right? It helps break that habit of overthinking and teaches you to embrace imperfection. Mistakes? Totally fine. We're aiming for fluency, not perfection.
Speak more. Worry less, folks.
Choose your topic, pause this podcast for 30 seconds, and go for it.
And what are their options, Gwen?
All right, here are your 3 options. 1 is your favorite meal.
2 is a place you'd like to visit.
And 3, the best advice you've ever received.
Are you ready? Hit pause and go.
Fantastic job, guys. You kept going, didn't let those little pauses stop you, and you expressed your ideas.
Was it tough? Probably. But let's be honest, it was fun too. And that's the beauty of this kind of challenge.
Totally agree. It builds confidence under just the right amount of pressure. And it shows you that you can speak continuously, even if it's not perfect.
I guess once you shift your mindset about speaking, that's when the real progress happens. No more telling yourself you have to be perfect.
You're right. Let's rewrite that inner dialogue. Instead of thinking, I must speak perfectly, think, I must communicate my ideas. The goal is connection, not perfection.
That already feels lighter, but what if I make mistakes?
Then ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Mistakes aren't failures. In fact, they're opportunities to grow.
Okay, but sometimes I still catch myself comparing to other people and feeling like I'm not good enough.
Flip that thinking. Instead of comparing yourself to others, tell yourself, I'm better than I was yesterday. Your only competition is your past self.
I love that, but I know a lot of people out there still feel like they can't speak yet because they're not ready.
Here's the truth, folks. You get ready by speaking. Readiness comes from doing, not from waiting until you feel perfectly prepared.
That's such a great way to look at it.
And it's not just a great way, it's the right way.
So remember, guys, confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being brave enough to be imperfect.
And every mistake you make, it's one more step on the path to fluency. Don't forget that even native speakers make mistakes all the time.
You know what, Gwen? Today's episode really opened my eyes.
I hope it did for our listeners too. Just remember, stay aware of that thinking trap that holds you back from speaking out loud.
Yeah, guys, to break free, you've got to shift your mindset and embrace imperfection.
And keep practicing. Speak as much as you can, think less, and don't get hung up on grammar.
Plus, all those awesome practice methods, mirror talk, describing your surroundings, recording yourself, shadowing, the one-sentence story, and internal dialogue. So many ways to improve.
Please keep in mind that speaking is the path to fluency. Waiting until you're perfect only delays your progress.
Wow, that really hits home. I've been overthinking this stuff for way too long.
So, to everyone listening, start today. Pick just one method and give it a try.
And don't forget, being brave enough to speak imperfectly is what makes you better.
If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend who's also trying to stop overthinking and start speaking more.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.